Hello, beautiful people. So, today is Friday, the 6th of March in ye grand old roaring 2020s. It's still cold. It's fucking cold. It's really cold. It's colder than it has any right to be anymore. I'm actually pulling my sleeves down over my hands as I talk to you, and realizing that I probably should have put the heating on before I started talking to the camera. Right, so I'm not going to take too long, and I know I say that a lot, because you got to tell yourself some lies repeatedly until they become true. So I apologize that you are coming along on this process, but you are an enabler, and this is really your fault. So, updates for the last couple of weeks. We have collectively, we've made some bigger plans in our personal lives, which has been really, really swell. So we're busy slotting all that stuff together. That is not public knowledge, and because life's you gotta keep your life for yourself too. God, pink penguin. God. We are been a little backlogged with a few other things. I've got my own personal stuff going on, and I'm busy shifting around stuff. Been actively trying to lose the porkage that we both picked up over December, which has been going pretty well. It's really, really nice to be able to put my socks on again without having to strain, which says things about the overall situation of stuff. I'm busy workshopping a story for a thing I can't talk about, which is great. We are both going to be at Stokercon next month, so that's April. I think it's from about the 16th of April. It's the Thursday on about the 15th, 16th of April 2020, right through till the Sunday. So Pip's going to be on a panel. I'm going to be running a panel. We're both going to be doing a reading on the Saturday, which is going to be very interesting, because between you and me, children, I can't read. And we're going to basically just be getting hammered and hanging out with all the people that we haven't seen in a long time, and meeting a bunch of folks who we've been friends with online for a while, which is going to be absolutely amazing. So we're really just looking forward to kind of hitting the con floor, hitting the pub, attending as many panels as we can, and just hanging out and being in our crowd with the people that are our people for a couple of days, which is going to be fantastic. We're going to be... I'm trying to think other headlines. Really, really stoked that kind of summer is starting, or spring is starting to look like it's coming, even if it might not feel like it. Movie-wise, there's not been a whole bunch of new stuff. We've put the Deadflicks on pause for a month just while we get our other stuff organized, because there's just been too much going on with both of the Patreons and our own lives and stuff. It's just been a lot of stuff. This year, 2020 itself, feels like it's a hurry up and wait year. Like, just flurries of activity that are predicated on, like, you can't get onto them until you have the details that you get at a later date. And so everything, I think, is going to bottleneck this year, and it's going to be crazy, and it's going to be great. But there's this really insane feeling of groundswell that I'm super enjoying, and it just feels like it's going somewhere. Trying to think what I'm excited about. For the year, in terms of kind of horror viewing and the like, I'm really quite psyched to see the Antlers movie. We haven't been to the cinema yet this year. It's just been a kind of like I said, like just staying at home and chilling out and enjoying the peace and quiet has been great. I've been reading a heck of a lot of books. February might not have been Woman in Horror Month for me personally. I read pretty much anything and everything all year round and try and just actively get into as much stuff as I can. But I did, with that thinking process in mind, I went on an absolute binge of feminism books, which has been really, really good. So if you read one book to make yourself a better human, I would recommend The Guilty Feminist by Deborah Frances White. It's a fantastic audiobook experience. It's enlightening, and I think just purely the first chapter alone should be mandatory reading for all humans. So there's my book recommendation, and go and check that out and make your brain bigger. Other books in that vein, I've read two by Sara Pascoe, Animal, which is basically a biological breakdown. It's written by a comedian who I wasn't aware of until somebody recommended the book to me. Thoroughly enjoyed it. There's a lot of kind of personal story and autobiographical stuff, as these things are told, because they're through a lens of a person's experience in their lives, and it's part of the story they have to tell and the way they have to tell the story. So that informed the way the book was structured a lot. I might not be kind of in alignment with all of Sara's things, but it was totally worth the time, and it was a furtherment in my education following the Deborah Frances White book. Another one worth doing was How to Fail by a woman by the name of Elizabeth Day, which is fantastic. I believe she also has a podcast, so there's certainly a theme running through here. It was predominantly about a lifetime of being a woman and what it means and how growing up, and it might have been through a female lens. I hate using the word female, like it feels insulting. So I'm going to input a different one, a feminine worldview, and the problems that kind of ladies go through from inception to in their young lives, and how they learn to be more polite, just as a defense mechanism. That I'm by no means prepared to talk about this at this moment, and didn't anticipate that I would be, so I'm not going to dig the hole any deeper, because it doesn't matter what I say or what other people say or what anybody says. I'm gonna upset somebody no matter what I say. So I'm not gonna pretend to be a well-versed genius in this. What I can do though is I can just keep recommending stuff. I will add in a couple of other titles in the doobly-doo. One from last year, which was really, really fantastic. It was called The Five. It was about the woman of Jack the Ripper, except it was told without Jack the Ripper at all. The only thing that unified these 5 women's lives was the fact that they were all murdered by Jack the Ripper. That is the only time he appears. And even then, he is not the purpose of the book. It's 5 biographies of the ladies who were living their lives at the time, and a picture of kind of the feminine plight and being a woman in a society that's designed to subjugate and to control everything that you do. A woman couldn't get a divorce without proving, I think the 2 things were that not only was your husband cheating on you, you had to actually physically prove this, but you also had to prove that he was being unnecessarily abusive physically. So, abuse was okay, you could just get battered around, and that was his right because you were kind of legal property. But it just spun out into this entire world of insane things where a woman without a husband or a man in their life couldn't earn, so they end up out in the street. And then you end up in a situation where your days are spent as a homeless person, carrying all your stuff around, and just looking for DOS money, which is money to sleep in an open house situation. and one thing after another, and just how the combination of all these situations spiraled out of control, and that pretty much all of these girls were misattributed as prostitutes. That is the single defining quality that everybody believes. So when people think of Jack the Ripper and the murders and all the other stuff, the two things that everybody says is Jack the Ripper was kind of that he was unidentified, that still people don't know who he was. And then the second thing is that he murdered a bunch of prostitutes, and only one of those things is true. And it's not the thing about the prostitutes. It was a highly enlightening book, and I'd really recommend it. I wish I could remember the girl's last name straight off the top of my head. It was thoroughly researched, and it was utterly harrowing, and I'm gonna leave it on harrowing because that seems to be where this stuff's going. So, I hope whatever you're doing, you're having a good time, and you're being a good person, and you're working to make the world a better place, because it seems like that's the only way that anything's gonna fix. That we have to be the difference. We have to educate, and it is your duty as a citizen of the planet to read up, to become a better person, and to work to be a better human and a better everything. Like, don't put up with toxicity. Don't stand there and pretend like it's not happening. It is your fucking duty to anyone, to everyone around you, to make the world a better place. If you're going to have kids, make it a beautiful place to leave them. Don't stand by and watch this stuff happen. Everything that's going on right now, we're responsible for it. It doesn't matter whether we did it or not. It's our problem, and we have to change everything. Everything has to be moved. We have to raise sons who are going to be worthy, who are going to grow to be worthy men. We've got to raise daughters who are going to change things, and who are going to be the change, and who are going to believe in themselves and see themselves represented. And however you fall on binary, non-binary, anything, the only currency we have anymore is love. And it's our duty to each other and to the world to make everything better. So with that, I'm going to sort off. Links are all in the doobly too. I hope you have a wonderful time this weekend, this week, this year. What are you doing for 2020? Are you looking to do bigger things? Are you leaning into success, or are you just kind of trying to find quiet peace in your heart? Drop me a line down below. As always, if you want to find me, you can find me at mykpilgrim.com. That's mykpilgrim.com. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, the works. It's always at Myk Pilgrim, or at Myk Pilgrim Author on Instagram. And I hope to see you at Stokercon in April. Other than that, I'll see you soon. Cheers.